Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. My sound was doing something weird. This is Neil's Meals. I'm Neil. If you've been here before, you know that I just cook a recipe on stream. Tonight, what I'm doing is I'm going back to the oatmeal raisin cookie recipe, but I'm going to make it the way that my mother would have made it, so that you can see how it would have been using shortening. I did do some research onto this, and I went through a bunch of my cookbooks. My oldest cookbook is from 1935, and it's a Better Homes and Gardens 1935 edition. And it's interesting how the recipe has changed. More often than not, up until the 80s, I would say it was a shortening based recipe. Oh, hey, thank you so much. That's very nice of you to say. So, starting any recipe like this, you want to turn on your oven. So I set it to 350. It's going to heat up. And then we'll get right into it and we'll start creaming the sugars. I do want to know, so people who have been here before, I'm doing a little different input into my from my camera. Is it looking more sharp or less laggy than before? No, it's not looking more sharp. It was doing a weird sort of pixelated thing with my eyeglasses that I remember. I don't know if it's still doing that. Okay. So, we have shortening. You used to have to pull this, get a can of it. Now they sell it in sticks like they do butter. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Put that in the recycle bin. Put that in the trash. So, shortening was a big deal for a long time. Fats have always been expensive just because they are more calorie dense, and then there are less of them. Crisco came about because, somebody wanted to make money from a byproduct. So, classically, in the cotton industry, the cottonseed oil was left over, and they didn't know what to do with it. It wasn't super good at being a lubricating oil. It wasn't super good in food. But what the Procter & Gamble people figured out was that if you hydrogenated it, it would be more like butter. And so they started selling it in cans of 3 pounds for, I don't know how much they sold it for, but it was considerably cheaper than its competitor lard or butter. So let's eat it. Well, I'm not sure what you mean there. So I made my. By the way, I've made affiliate. So thank you to all who've joined me and helped me with that. I was starting to set up my stream for that, and so I did put in channel points as cookies. Oh yes, the Crisco. The Crisco was crystallized cottonseed oil. That's what Crisco stood for. Crisco hasn't been that in a long time. They have reformulated it about 5 or 6 times. The most recent time to pull trans fats out, which that's when hydrogenation became a big sort of verboten thing. Hydrogenation would cause basically the molecule of the fat to change its position, which your body doesn't like. So one of the things Crisco was sold for, and I often wondered if I lost my grandfather earlier because of it, because he had really pretty severe heart problems, is they would tell you to use that instead of butter. They would tell you to use that instead of oil. Crisco, because it didn't have any cholesterol in it. I'll never know that for sure, but he did die when I was 3 months old at the age of 52. Or was it 54? I'm not sure. But anyway, Crisco became super popular for the reasons for it being a vegetable shortening instead of something animal based. And for that, it's just convenient. You don't have to wait for it to heat up. That is way too much sugar. Oh my, I've made a mess. You don't have to wait for it to heat up. With butter, you have to bring it out. It doesn't tend to be as difficult to work with, like if you're going to make pastry. Its biggest drawback is that it doesn't taste as good. It doesn't taste as good as butter. But this is the recipe that my mom had, so this is the recipe that I'm going with. That's why I put this paper towel down, so I can put it back in the bag. Here, I'll just put that little bit in there. Oh. A lot of people do use a scale. I do sometimes. I don't tend to use a scale if the recipe wasn't written that way. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mr. Mad Mothy. That's so sweet of you. I have my first subscribers. Thank you. Thank you for handing out all those subscribers. I really appreciate it. So we're going to cream the butter and sugar again like we did before. Oh, thank you, Belly U3. Thank you, Lesbian Next Door. I would like it if you lived next door to me rather than the people that are there. Hey, Freya. I'll just call you Lind. So, one of the pluses of doing this with shortening is it comes together a little quicker. Hello. Well, this is the second time I'm making these. That's why I called it Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Redux, because I tried to do this the other day and I tried doing it with butter. And this recipe is a shortening based recipe. So I tried to do this with butter. They were delicious, but they came out sort of in pieces. We did have some that worked, but they were all very thin and lacy. This is my first hype train, everybody. This time I'm using the shortening that it called for. So I started with 1 cup of Crisco and 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of granulated sugar. So, and also I was talking about how I was looking at other recipes and it's kind of all over the place, right? Sometimes they use more of one sugar than the other. Sometimes the total sugar is less. Sometimes the flour is more. Sometimes the flour is less. Sometimes it's shortening. Sometimes it's margarine. Sometimes it's butter. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. If I were going to go to what I suspect just from looking at everything that caused my issues the other day, I would say, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. We love that. Oh, thank you. It's a much more active community than I thought I was going to get this evening. All right. Wow. Thank you so much. Y'all are killing it with that. Let me just rinse my hands off. All right. Now I could keep beating at this, but I think this is really to the place that I would say that it's creamed. So now we'll start putting the eggs in. So one other benefit of shortening is that it doesn't matter if your eggs are too cold. Hello. No, I guess I don't. And someone was talking about me getting another apron, so I did order one for fall. But it's not here yet. I tend to like this black one because if I get something on it, it doesn't show. All right. Got 2 eggs in there. And we'll just stir those in. Kind of beat them up a little bit there. And then probably should have put them in one at a time, but we'll just make it work. Oh, well, thank you so much, Dana's Kitchen. So now we have the eggs incorporated into the shortening and sugar mixture. And we'll put one more thing in here. Got it back here somewhere. Some vanilla. This calls for a teaspoon. So I'll pour out a teaspoon. However, whenever I do a teaspoon of vanilla, I always add a little more. Yes, it does. Shortening has a tendency to blend a little easier. I was trying to be, more current and use butter, and it didn't work out. All right, so we have that in there, and then we're going to start doing our dry ingredients. So I have a piece of wax paper here that I like to put under my sifter and turn it over. I've got my sifter. And you don't have to use a sifter. You can just dump it in. I only do this because I like to mix all the dry ingredients together, and I would rather just do it through this than pulling out another bowl and whisking it. So let's see. I need 1 1/4 cups of flour. Hello. Oh, open the hype chest, huh? And I'll share the hype chest. 13 subs and 600 bits. I can't believe it. Y'all are so sweet to me. I really love it. So we need 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And yes, I know I should be weighing this. I just don't. It's okay. That's 1 cup. And then we got a little quarter. One cup and 1/4 flour. Bowser Big Bear Burrito. Gosh, I got a lot of y'all coming in. Thank you so much for joining us. For those who haven't been in recently or didn't get in here earlier, if you're later in here, I am redoing my oatmeal cookie recipe because I wasn't happy with what came out. Like I showed people that this, is the result I have of them. All right. So we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Well, thank you so much, Lind. That's great. I'm glad that you like what I'm doing. That's the salt. And then we need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So we'll get that. I've got this spoon over here. And I think I'm going to do a little less cinnamon than I did the other night. Well, I don't know. I kind of liked it. Maybe I'll do just like a little less than 1/2 teaspoon. It seemed to be very potent. All right, So that's our dry ingredients other than the oats. Yes. So I'll turn this and it will come out. I like that it comes out in my bowl. A lot of people like to use a sieve. I am anti-sieve. I'll need to rinse this out later. All right, and then also I've got this that fell through this sifter when I was putting it in, so I'll put that in. And now we'll mix this in. Oops, I just knocked it out of the bowl. Very professional. Let's see. Put that on. And put that in. And I cleaned these counters earlier, so I don't feel bad about doing this. All right. So you want to stir it till the flour is incorporated, maybe just a few streaks. I would say that you don't want to let your cookies get tough, right? You want them to be nice and tender. But I don't think in this particular recipe you have a lot of concerns about stirring this too much, because it's just so much shortening in it, and there's not a lot of liquid. All right. So that's what you've got at this stage, is this dough. And now we will add, I brought everything out but the oatmeal. So excuse me for just a moment. I'll get the oatmeal. I should have the star of the show, shouldn't I? All right, so we've got to put in 3 cups of oatmeal. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. I'm not sure who Sid is. Who is Sid as the influence man? I'm not sure what you mean. All right, and then you stir these oats in. I think this dough is too stiff to really use like a spatula to do this. But you might need the spatula to wipe the stuff off your spoon, because it tends to stick to the spoon pretty bad. You want to make sure you get down in it, because you want to make sure the oatmeal gets into the thing. You don't want a bunch of it at the bottom. Oh, Coletti. Oh, did they raid me in? Did y'all raid in with me, or did they call you to me? I'm not sure. I've just been cooking. I haven't kept up with the chat as well as I should be. I don't have a great situation for it, because I just have it on my OBS screen. Oh, well, thank you. If you're here, thank you so much for that. I love when the food and drink streamers get together. So I've got these raisins, and they're sort of solidified, so I'm going to have to take a fork to them. Could someone, could a moderator, could you give a shout out to Sid underscore Coletti there? Because that was very nice of them. And if you're not following here and you are interested in food and drink streaming, you should follow them. Thanks for that. All right, so I have a cup of raisins. I'm glad. We went and got a camera, Elgato Cam Link. We were trying to use this camera over USB and paying for that privilege from Canon. And I never thought it looked super great. Oh yes, well the apron was a gift. Glenn and Friends is a YouTube channel that I've liked for years. He's Canadian, and he has been doing an old cookbook show forever. And he does it on Sunday. And I really like it because it's given me an interesting insight into how food has changed and how it really hasn't much. All right. So you just want to make sure these raisins are throughout it. There's not like a bunch in the bottom that aren't in the dough. The only thing I don't like about this apron is if I tip over, it kind of goes over my chin. All right. And so when you've stirred it all together, it looks like cookie dough. So that's the cookie dough. I'll have to take a look at the video and see how it looked from the time before, because I don't remember exactly. I mean, it looks similar. It's hard to tell. All right, I'm going to keep this. And actually, I'm going to take this out. All right, so let me take a few items here out of my way. I'm sorry. I know it's not good on camera, but I am sort of compulsive about trying to clean as I go along. All right. So I'll put all these things behind me. Put this over here for now. All right, so I have a pan, and I've put parchment paper in it. Let's turn that light on. That helps. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. This dough is a little stiff, though, so if you use the spatula too much, you'll tear it up. Oh, Play It Jason, thank you so much. It is so kind of you to write into me. If you were here the other night, y'all, I was making oatmeal raisin cookies, and I tried to make them with butter, and they didn't really work. So now I'm doing the recipe as directed. And that's why I've called it Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Redux. I think I want to use this one. We'll scoop them out the same size. The same stove. Yeah, it's not the stove that came in the house. We replaced that. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. So I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna do them out to the same size. Thank you for subscribing, Matthew J. It's so sweet of y'all. I want to try to make them the same size just to see, do they spread as badly as they did with butter? Yeah, I don't know if that's really fast. I've had a lot of help. I've had a lot of the food and drink community come out for me. I've had people from my husband's stream come out for me. Some of my friends' streams, like you play it, Jason, and Samumu. It's been really heartwarming how much support I've gotten from all of y'all. Thank you, Julie the Nerdy Aunt. Are you Jason's actual aunt? Because I can't imagine any of my relatives actually. I know Deb says hi as his mom. I can't actually think of any of my relatives who would actually watch me here on Twitch. So we're going to put those in, and they go for 12 minutes. So let's start that for 12 minutes. And we'll spoon out another pan. So these are made with Crisco instead of butter this time. I know a lot of people are very sort of anti-shortening. I'm kind of indifferent to it because, I was raised on a lot of it. And I've got a few recipes that they don't work without it. And this is one of them. I tried to make these with butter, and they did not enjoy it. The results were delicious. Don't get me wrong, but they spread really bad. They stuck to the pan really bad. They were sort of lacy. Yeah. Well, we didn't have very many because they. Let's just tighten that up a little bit. But I have, like I said, have gone through a bunch of recipes, going back as far that I'm aware of as 1935. I have a 1935 Better Homes and Gardens cookbook that I looked at. And it's interesting to see how the recipe changed. The most interesting thing is that recipes make more now. And you would think they would have made more back then because families were bigger. But probably people took this as more of a treat than as a snack. Biscuits with lard. It's funny, I make biscuits with butter and shortening. My mother never made from scratch biscuits that I can remember. She almost always used, it wasn't Bisquick, it was Jiffy. And I actually use it for certain applications because the biscuits I make tend to be so tender. They're not good for much more than putting some butter and jam on, which is, delicious. But it's if you're going to put like gravy on them, so you need something that's a little stronger. I guess I could just make those with a stronger flour. All right, so we've got that one filled up. You are so welcome to come in. We love having everyone who comes. I'm really just here trying to make cooking to be something more approachable. Um, and you know, I if this works, I will post this with the recipe. I didn't post the other one because I didn't feel like it worked. I didn't want people to try that recipe and have it not work. Zab, did I forget you? I'm sorry, I forgot you. Yeah, I want to do a recipe that works, right? And so I'm going to do this just sort of as the standard of what I'm used to. And then I'm probably going to try to reapproach this recipe again. I'm going to want to, I'll probably make something and I'll do, a bunch of different small batches of dough and sort of change what fat I'm using in them. There was one that called for shortening and it called for oil. 50-50 ratio of butter and shortening. So there's another cookie that I do. It's basically derived from this cookie. I probably won't ever do it on the stream because my sister's sort of forbidden it. But if I remember, that didn't really work. Neil is the Quaker man. Or the Pillsbury Doughboy. Are you talking about the premium cracker tins up there? I've got a Ritz one too. You're trying to start cooking and baking. Well, I mean, it's definitely is a life skill. On Saturday nights, I usually stream what we're going to have for dinner. This weekend, I think I'm going to make a pot of red meat sauce for pasta. But when I make that, I make kind of a big batch so I can freeze some of it and have my freezer sort of pay me dividends, because it's wonderful to take complete sauce out of the freezer and being able to make pasta that night and not having to do anything. You lost the passion because of complaints. Complaints from like the internet or complaints in your home? Well, one of those, this is the one I grew up with that has it in Spanish and English. I would use these cans for saltines, but they don't smell good inside them, and I haven't been able to get that out. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing it this way because J Fries really loves oatmeal raisin cookies. And so the one thing I did to this recipe, the change that I kept from the other day, is I did add cinnamon to it. The original recipe had none. I'm not sure how well that would go. Well, you'd have to take the cinnamon out. I don't think cinnamon and raisins would go together. But I, it's funny, in the recipes that I went over, I did see that sort of switch out. I mean, the other way you could make this is you could remove the cinnamon and probably add a little more vanilla and put chocolate chips in it, and it would be good. Because there are always people who don't like raisins. I'm typically not a raisin and a baked good guy. But these have turned out. Do I use nutmeg in this recipe? No, but that sounds like an excellent addition. Oh, I do. I do. The cookie my sister doesn't want me to do here, we both do them differently because I put a lot more vanilla in them. You wouldn't want to use a lot of nutmeg though, because nutmeg is pretty strong. I think I looked at one recipe and it called for like a teaspoon of nutmeg, but then like a quarter or a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and it was just like well, there are some recipes like these raisins are pretty dried because I've had them a long time, and they've sort of crystallized the sugar out of the raisin, so these don't get very plump. There are recipes where they tell you to like soak them in warm water before you make this. One recipe called to do that in warm water, or maybe it was a like spirit, I'm not sure. And then you would take that liquid and use that as the liquid in the recipe. I guess it would have been better if I had all these out, but then I would have this big pile of books right here. 2 minutes and 25 seconds before that first pan comes out. Didn't have raisins, drank wine instead. So I have 2 bottles under my bed where I have tried to make vanilla extract, and it does. Either I didn't use enough vanilla in it to the amount of liquid. I should have cut the beans open, and I just sort of cut them into pieces and threw them in there. And now I don't know how I'd get them out. That's not how you make vanilla extract. Oh, well, how do you do it? In the bedroom? No. I was just directed to put them in a cool, dark place, and that is probably the coolest dark place in our house. No, they're in a bottle of alcohol. Let me see something. How do these look? Those kind of look like they're done. Oh well, they're almost ready. I forget how many I got, but I put them into 64-ounce. I think they were growler bottles. I've heard that too. I haven't really tried it. The artificial vanilla. I've seen a lot of people do it. All right, that time was over. So we're going to take them out and see how we done. All right. Ooh, those look pretty good. Crispy brown around the edges. I think I might have, but I think I do have one Siamese cookie. But you see, this is more like what you expect to happen because they haven't spread as much. They're thicker. Those are going to need to cool before we can really take them. I love that. Those cookies. Yes, I will have to save you from all of these cookies. Pumpkin loaf this week. Like a pumpkin bread? Like a quick bread? It sounds good. Well, I mean, I suppose that I could send you some at some point. Probably none of these because we're probably going to eat them. Lynn, you have a good night. Get some rest and sweet dreams. Thank you for coming out. I'm sorry I do these so late, but I kind of have to schedule it on a night he's not doing it and after dinner. You know what I didn't do? I didn't set the timer. Set it for a little less. So if I made these smaller, you'd get a lot more of them. This recipe will make a lot of cookies if you make them a little smaller than I've made them. It's a good one for the holidays. Um, well, actually, I think this is a good cookie all year. Probably more in the cooler months, I think, just because of the cinnamon and the oatmeal. Oh, thank you, Freya. Y'all are really sweet to me. I love it. Got 10 minutes to wait for those. Let's see if these are. I think I'm gonna put this right here, and I will put this pan back over here because I took them off on the piece of paper. And let's, they probably are cool enough I can show you one. Oop. Or maybe not. They are not cool enough. Oh my. Well, that one did fall apart. It's just too warm. It looks kind of like the one I made the other day. Excuse me for just a second. When it's test testing time, well, I'll certainly let you have the broken one. All right, is this pan still warm? I'm just taking them off the paper here. Yeah, they smell really good. Let me taste a little of one. They're good. I mean, I did have somebody say they didn't like raisins, but that was fine with me. Oh, I forgot I put that there. Is it time for you to have one?
I guess so.
Why don't you have that one?
I almost feel like Cookie Monstering it and just going. Blah.
So I put one on this plate. I don't know. Let's see if it'll focus. Will it focus for us?
A little bit.
That's what they look like. That's how thick they are. So they're still a little on the flat side, but they're still good. I mean, like, there's a cookie you ever met that you didn't like, especially this kind.
I stuffed the whole thing in my mouth.
Did you? Yes, everyone loves J Fry's beard. It's not. It's funny because it's not my favorite, but I mean, I like it fine. I just like it when it's cleaner. Think so. They are very good. I think the amount of cinnamon is right. If you're going to put cinnamon in one of these. Maybe this is why I didn't like these cookies as a kid, because my mom didn't put cinnamon in them. It's funny. I really love cinnamon, so oftentimes I'll put more than it calls for in it. Dried cherries. That's an interesting question. I think those would be good in like sort of like a shortbread or sandy type cookie. Like, um, they would be good in an oatmeal cookie. They'd probably be good in a chocolate cookie too. Cherries and chocolate are a very old classic combination. I don't know that I would put cinnamon in the cookie though if I was going to do dried cherries. My mom loved cherries. I would make her for her birthday. I would make her a cherry pie, and I had to hunt for them because the best cherry pies are made with sour cherries, but mostly what you find are sweet cherries. Like the ones you get in the summer are sweet. Um, if you get a pie filling can, that's usually a sweet cherry. What would you put in there if there were dried cherries? Like what else I would put in them? Well, probably a little almond flavor. Uh, that's typically goes like even in a cherry pie, you typically put a little almond extract. Um, Cinnamon would be good. Maybe a little nutmeg. Um, I think cloves would be too distracting. Maybe like some allspice. It would probably work with cinnamon. It's just not what I think of going with cinnamon. With cinnamon, you tend to think of stuff like raisins and apples, uh, maybe like a peach cobbler. At least that's where my mind goes with all of it. Such with flavors? What do you mean? W. Okay. Winning flavors, I guess. I guess that's what you meant. This is the part of my stream I haven't figured out how exactly to fill is the time it takes for something to bake. $36, $35, $34. We're close. So after tonight, I may step back from an oatmeal raisin cookie and do a different one. I've kind of been doing cookies because I worry about what to do. Like if I do a cake and it lasts, it has to bake for an hour. All right, so we'll take these out. Those look very good. We have a little Siamese going on there. And we'll put these in. They come out sort of inflated and oh, the dishes? Yeah. I guess I could do that. I don't really have a camera over here. Here, I'll take this one I broke and put it on a little paper towel here to eat. Yes. My other half likes to do my dishes. Well, he doesn't like to, but he will. These are nice and really chewy. They don't have all the flavor, but they have more than enough flavor for a cookie. You cook and wife does the dishes? Well, that works.
I've come for more.
Well, those probably aren't cool enough, so you'd want one of those. Have they changed in the past 5 minutes?
No.
Well, that's good. I guess this is the trick to this then is that you have to make the recipe as written.
Yeah. Well, you can't just substitute butter for shortening. That's what you don't.
It's funny. I have had places where I could do it. It's this particular recipe and the other one, the one I have been forbidden to do.
You've mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, both have a similar situation when you try to swap in butter.
Give you cookie.
Here, I'll try to push this into the camera.
It won't fit.
So he's eating it, and
I'll just have to eat it.
I didn't have eggs.
My mouth's gonna look good.
I have not seen that subreddit. Um, if you don't have eggs, you can do you can sometimes substitute some applesauce or some like pumpkin puree. Applesauce is probably the best way to go if you don't have well, if you're trying not to alter the flavor too much. Have I ever tried kunafa? No, I'm not sure what that is. Oops. Well, even if with all the ones he's eaten here, I still have more than I had from the other night. Middle Eastern dessert with cheese and phyllo dough on top. What kind of cheese? The most Middle Eastern dessert I've probably had is baklava. And that's, I mean, different people claim that. But as far as I know, it's all over the Mediterranean. Forgot to turn the damn timer on again. That's probably what I'm most familiar with. If you want, let's see if this works. If you want, oh, that, you know what, that didn't work because I forgot to do, mix it up. The link to mix, I think I did, but I can't remember. Let me do that. Somebody check that link and see if it works. What I was going to say is if you have a recipe for it, you can put it in recipe suggestions on my Discord. Oh, okay. Here, let me do that then. Copy current address. Let's see, that's a command. That's Discord. Let's edit it. Let's click that. Let's change this. Oh no, that is not what I wanted it to copy. Oh, thank you. I've tried to make this so you can see everything. I mean, you can't see the whole kitchen, but I tried to copy this link and it wanted to I think I got it this time. try that one. Okay. So what I was going to say is you can on that Discord. I haven't built it out fully, but I did put in Neil's meals, and that's where I post what I've made. I put in your meals where you can post something you've made or you've seen somewhere that you think is neat, and I put in recipe suggestions where you can throw that. And I'm not going to 100% say I'll make it, but I will take a look at it, see if I think it's feasible. But y'all will see things that you post in there end up on the stream. Just put these out on the thing here. Okay. I think that's good. How much do I like lamb? I'm not a big lamb guy. It tends to be a little gamey to me. I mean, I guess I'm too much of an American palate for it. But I mean, I might try it in something if I liked it. I also, a lot of the ways that I see lamb, I'm not super in love with the way the things they've put on it. This will be the last pan I have of these. In this part of the world, yeah, probably like some kind of stir fry. You probably see it in a Mediterranean or a Lebanese restaurant. I think they'll make shawarma with it. Probably what it's most associated with here are gyros, the gyro sandwiches, where they have like a big spinning piece of meat on a spit. No, I've never tried that. Are you in the US or are you overseas? I think I've heard that though. I think I've heard of that. Oh, okay. Oh, you move around. Oh, from Jordan. Okay. My uncle was with this Army Corps of Engineers, and I don't have it, but I remember him showing me a picture of him and the King of Jordan at the time. How do they look? Those are almost done. Yeah, he lived in he was in Saudi Arabia for a while, and then he was in Cairo for years. Like all through my childhood, he was in Cairo, and then they moved back when I was about 12 or 13. But he still had to travel over there a lot. I can't remember what he was doing. Yeah, we used to have presidents like that were liked by everyone, but them's the breaks. Mm. Those do look really good though. I'm really happy with the way these turned out. Y'all are. I'm sorry that I can't give these out to all of y'all after you've watched me cook them. I know I've had someone here. I agreed. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying not to be overly in the real world about any of this. I'm really just trying to enjoy enjoy food with everyone. I'm not sure that this is something that everyone all over the world would enjoy, but I know it's pretty good here. Oh no, no, these need to come out now. These are too done. Timer or not. All right. Yeah, those got a little browner. Oh no. All right. Get in there. All right. So that's the last batch. These got a little more done. I mean, they'll still be fine, but can tell that they're more brown. So they'll be a little drier. But here's the fun part. If you put those in with the ones that aren't, they'll all re-moisten each other. Oh, that's terrible. I mean, places to live are can always be interesting throughout your life. One of the first places I lived, there were a bunch of roaches there. It was like a 7-story building, and each floor had originally been a different wealthy family, and they had stairs on the inside of it for the servants to go around. And then by the time I got to it, 80 years later, they sold that as an indoor fire escape. But in some ways, I miss that little apartment. It's just a simpler time. Yeah, I had a little gas stove. That was like one of the few times I've had gas cooking. And one time, that bill was never more than, I don't know, $13. And that was like, I was really cooking a lot. um, but no, I do not wear this. This is a type of chef's cap, right? And I do not wear this when I normally cook. It's just my thing I do on stream. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's sanitary, and it was just a little thing I could do to be a little different. I thought it was cool. I didn't think I would look good in like one of those tall chef's hats. I think I just look kind of silly. But this little cap is. I'm not sure what kind of chef's hat this is, but mommy. I'm not sure What you mean by that? Oh my. Yeah. Well, I mean, all I have is a bed frame, but it's just sometimes what you get. But it's funny. I have a sous vide up here, and it's still in the box because I haven't figured out what to sous vide yet. Well, I mean, I have other things too. I have a lot of records. I have a lot of cameras. Um, I have a few sets of dinnerware. Well, I mean, if I could get them out to you, I would do it. I would love to get the. I don't think I have menu set up. I'll have to do that. I don't think that would be good. The only thing with eggs I can imagine doing is doing like hard boiled eggs. And hard boiled eggs are so easy to do on the stove if you do them right that I don't understand why you would get out a sous vide and set it up. The thing I was thinking about with sous vide is like some cut of meat that is typically super tough, but you don't want to cook it to too high of a temperature. Yeah, yeah. Well, around here, I just scramble them mostly. I like an egg over medium. I mean, if pretty much anybody who comes here, they're going to get the egg that I make them. Um, I don't like the egg that runny. What I like is I like the yolk to be just thickened enough that it sticks to the white. Yeah, well, I mean that's very popular. Let's take these over here and put them out on the thing. Hopefully these aren't too done. Sorry about this. I just don't really have the room over there to take these off. Well, when you say that you like your eggs fried, are you talking about where you take it and you sort of break the yolk and stir it all around in the grease, or are you talking about like one that's sunny side up or over easy or over medium? I know somebody that gets them over hard, and I don't even understand that. Scotch eggs, I've seen those, and I'm never sure about how I feel about them. Probably in the next few weeks, in the gear up for Thanksgiving, I might do some deviled eggs. So when I was a kid, my mom would hard boil an egg and squish it with a fork in a bowl and put in a little butter and a little salt and stir it up. And I still like that today. Well, let's see how one of these are that's a little more done. Still done, different flavor.
I need to taste one too.
Yeah, one of the darker ones.
More crummy.
Yeah, they're a little crummier, but they're a little crispier.
Very good.
Thank you.
I'll allow it. Typically, I don't let that word go in my channel, but I understand it in this case. No, no homo. Yeah. We like to be all inclusive here. Is there another even bigger beard off camera somewhere? No, no. Unless it's like a fake one. There are no more beards here in the house. Y'all are funny. I'm glad to have a group that's, so comedy oriented. No, we don't have any pets. I like a cat, but we can't have a cat because one of our daughters is really allergic. And we just never felt like it was fair to a dog to have a dog here if we were not going to be in the house. Yeah, she's not anaphylactic allergic, but she is probably approaching that. And so it's just not worth that sort of hassle. Those are almost done. Yeah, yeah. I had sort of pollen and mold allergies, which are sort of ubiquitous to the environment, but well, these are definitely good without the butter. She's been around a cat as an adult and they didn't go away. My mom was allergic to cats, but she had cats. She just had to be careful not to touch her face after she touched one of them, like to go wash her hands. And as she had them a while, their allergies would get lessened. Thoughts for future cooking streams? Well, oh, thank you. So on Saturday, I'm going to make like a red meat sauce. It's something I like to make a fair amount of because I will split it into multiple containers and put them in the freezer. It'll be dinner that night. Then we'll have it, maybe next week and then maybe a week after that. But after you've made the sauce and frozen it, it's no big deal because you don't have to sit there and do a whole lot to it. You can just, thaw it out, put it in a pan, and heat it up. As for future cooking streams, I'm probably going to keep doing cookies. I may not do them I'll probably do them every Tuesday, but maybe not every Tuesday and Thursday. I just wanted to come back and sort of readdress this cookie since it was sort of a calamity the other day. So I'll probably keep doing that. I may or may not stream on Thursday. That's going to kind of be just if I feel like it. And usually on Saturdays, we raid out from J Fry's stream into mine and we cook dinner. Neil's Meals channel on my Discord. Yeah, I'll think about that. I mean, it's very just pretty much just set stuff up as much as I had to. I haven't really gone into it. But that's probably where I'm going to go with it. I'm thinking about doing something for like Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'd do a whole Thanksgiving dinner on stream, but I might do some of the things I would do. And probably, I'm not sure if I want to do it now or maybe sometime in December and do some sort of like party foods. Well, I mean, it just seems normal to us, Arcade Bear. Our Thanksgiving in November seems normal. All our turkey and everything. I know. It must be a cross to bear for you. Mm. I mean, everybody has the right to have Thanksgiving whenever they want. I mean, literally, you could have our Thanksgiving every month of the year because the stuff is always available. Well, we've cooked the cookies, and so I think we've worked out that this recipe does work with shortening. When you go out for sushi, I'm not a huge sushi person. And it's funny, I wanted to like sushi, and intellectually I thought I would like it. It's not the fish that bothers me in sushi, it's the rice. The texture of the rice, the vinegar note in it because they pour vinegar into the rice to treat it some way. And it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, I would have to get the sushi that it's just a piece of fish because that's the only way I could probably eat that. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've had jobs where I couldn't I didn't get holidays off and I did not enjoy them. But being in healthcare, sick people never go away, so I get that. Well, anyway, I think that's going to be it for this. Let me pull up Twitch and see who I can raid. Oh, a dialysis tech. Okay. I have a friend who's on dialysis and I have to help him with it sometimes. I mean, but you just have to make, your holidays on your own day when you can do it if you want to, your own traditions. That's what I would suggest to you. Let's see if we can get someone streaming and food and drink. I'm not sure that I'm going to find somebody. I don't know that person. I don't know any of these people. Anybody have a suggestion for who I might raid into? Not sure what I want to do here. No, that looks ridiculous. All right, let me try that. I will take a look at those. I wouldn't have asked you to post them if I wasn't going to take them seriously. Well, I mean, I'm okay with that. I can't tell what they're doing. But, I mean, that works for me. It's not a food and drink streamer. I don't see a good food and drink streamer. So we'll do that. I'll have to take a look at them too. If you could put that in my Discord, I would appreciate that. Actually, I'm going to raid out to somebody I know. They're playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. So not food and drink, but somebody I know, and I hope y'all will appreciate. We're going to raid out to Shell Shock Prime, is a friend of the stream. So y'all all have a good night. I thank you so much for coming here. Everyone who subscribed to me or rated me, I really appreciate it. I want y'all all to have a great night. Be sure you eat something good, and when you can, and sweet dreams. Have a great night. Bye now.